Alright, so this is Daniel about to play some Gift Storm in Modern. We're just in a two-man. And this is the kind of hand that we absolutely keep because we're on the draw, we've got a one-lander, and a sleight of hand. That means we've got 4 looks at a land before we start getting behind, which is just just fine for in terms of odds. Ancestral Vision, this bodes like some kind of control deck, blue-based control decks. Gift Storm usually doesn't fare terribly well against them. Well, none of those are the land. So 3 out of 4 looks haven't found this land yet. I certainly hope the last one does. Blue and red. Young Pyromancer. There's the land. Perfect. So my guess is that we are playing against some kind of like Delver, especially seeing Young Pyromancer. I am very tempted to just go ahead and grape shot this. In fact, I will. If we can just go ahead and grape shot this Young Pyromancer, that way it's not a problem. Now, we have the win in hand, essentially. In fact, if he taps out and we draw a third land, you know, there's a very real chance of us just casting 2 rituals and Metamorphose and then Gifts and Given and going off. Here, since we have essentially what is necessary to go off, I think I'd take the Electromancer just in case our other one dies. It's too bad we didn't get a third land, so because we can't deploy him right now. Just a straight up Snapcaster. That's bold. No value on the Snapcaster. It's a lot of land, which means that it's not unlikely that they've got a counter in hand, and them getting this Ancestral Vision is going to hurt. Okay, so here comes like a leak or something. A remand. Yep. We're falling pretty behind here. So this could become problematic. Because they're going to start drawing, they're going to start refilling their hand and just stocking counter spells most likely. And we're going to have a lot of problems beating that. And them just passing here, not a good sign. So let's run this into a counter spell or a removal spell. We still don't have that third land, which would have been very nice. Snap into a remand. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. And a bolt on me. So I'm at a virtual 6 right now. And I have to start discarding things again. Well, I guess this is the kind of tempo you want to play as a Delver deck. It's playing exactly how they want to play it out. So there's a land. This will get countered and we will likely be dead. I'm gonna go to my second main phase and see if I can bait anything out from them. Nope. We're not dead, but I would imagine we're almost essentially dead. Maybe I just try to go off here and in desperation and see what happens. They have 4 cards. If it's really not a removal spell or a counter spell, I would be just absolutely amazed. Okay, here we go. And there's the Electrolyze, which means I think it's essentially over. What I can do here, let's see. So we're gonna get 3 red. I can Manamorphose to make it a blue and a red, play Electromancer, play Desperate Ritual, and then still have 3 mana left, which doesn't let us go off. If we draw some kind of ritual, another Manamorphose or a Desperate Ritual, we could go off this turn still. And that is assuming that they have no counterspell or something. But it is all about what we draw off of this Manamorphose. Okay, so it's a land, but we already played a land this turn, so. Vendilion Click. Yep, that's fine. I'll probably take the Gifts Ungiven, and it leaves us with not much to do. Oh, actually, we're just dead. Yeah, right. We'd have to block with the Electromancer. I'm not really worried about any of this. Let's just concede. We saw what we needed to see. Okay, so that was brutal. So we want to spell, definitely, all the counter spells. Is Bolt necessary? I don't know. Echoing Truth is an answer to everything. Or to anything. Bar like Surgical Extraction. Take out the remands. I'm not sure if there's anything else we want. Pieces of the Puzzle is a little slow. I don't think we're on the Empty the Warrens plan. In terms of what we take out, I'm not sure. I'm going to take out a Sleight of Hand and maybe a Peer Through Depths. And we'll just roll with that. I would imagine actually the Lightning Bolt is almost definitely supposed to go in, especially against the Delver deck. I was thinking Pyromancer. We didn't see Delver, but I'm sure that Delver's here. I think that was just a mistake. This hand, 1 land cantrip, and so we're going diving for lands. Luckily we've got 3 more looks for the second land with the Sleight of Hand. Hopefully we top deck it here. That way we can just do something else. Well, that's not it. Well, there's a mountain. That'll have to do. So we have Empty the Warrens. I don't think I really want to do anything. I guess it depends on our draw on what I do. If we draw a land, perhaps I just want to cast the Electromancer since we didn't draw the Electromancer. Or I'm sorry, since we didn't draw the land. I guess we just hold off and then cast Peer Through Depths. And maybe I should Sorcery Speed it since now they have counter magic available, which probably was a mistake. Playing this a little bit loosely, actually very loosely. I'm making some potentially costly decisions. Yeah, they have no... This is very likely to get just countered. Okay. So no counter. I could get Dispel or Manamorphose. I think Manamorphose is probably what you want, especially since we already have Swansong. Alright. Would love a land. Not a land. See if we can find a land. There's a land. That Echoing Truth would have been nice for Pyromancer stuff, but that's alright. Now here, is there anything we would like to do? I do not want to run out my Electromancer into removal with no backup, so I think I would like to avoid that completely. We might see a Vendilion click here. Bolt me, sure. Serum Visions, sure. This Pyromancer might become problematic. I think we're in a bit of trouble. So here I could potentially just hold off and cast Gifts Ungiven at the end of his turn. And if he counters it, then I could potentially just start trying to go off with Electromancer, cast Ritual, cast Manamorphose. And if anything, I think that's the play. I'm gonna, at the end of his turn, I'll try to cast Gifts. If it baits a counterspell, so be it, and then we can try to start making headway on the next turn. Is this Electrolyze me? Sure. So I am at a virtual 5. Seems like with the amount of burn he has, the Empty the Warrens plan is probably just too slow. Well, let's hope he doesn't have double counterspell. Wow, he's gonna let me do it. Okay, nice. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna get some sweet stuff here. So I mean, there's potential that he has a Vendilion click and he's gonna try to steal stuff after I grab things. I think we need mana as much as possible. We could take the normal package of just Desperate, Pyretic, Manamorphose, Past in Flames. If we do that, I think we have the best chance of going off. He has so many cards in hand is the problem, so he probably has 2 answers. Maybe it would be nice to have like a Dispel, or try to, if we try to hand him like a, try to put another Dispel in this, maybe he won't let us have it. And then that'll assuredly get us like a Ritual for 2 mana. Nope, he's gonna give us the Dispel. Okay. That's just fine, actually. Let's see if he wants to start answering things. A Vendilion click could be problematic. Like, we have the tools to go off, and we have at least the ability to answer one of his threats. So Harvest Pyre, trying to kill the Goblin Electromancer. So here, I could potentially dispel it. That seems like a fine move to just go ahead and attempt to dispel. And if he tries to answer, go ahead and Swan Song. Sure. Yep, this is fine. So I think we have the win here now. This is just adding to our storm count. So I guess the dispel was a very good choice then. Alright. So now we should have just enough to go off here, because we'll get the 3 red, we'll be able to Manamorphose for 4 mana, and then start Past Inflamesing. I can even cast Gifts right now and be fine with going off even more. Alright, get the package except without the Past in Flames. Forces him to give us Manamorphose. We Manamorphose, have 4 mana, be able to cast Past in Flames with 1 floating, and then go off using the graveyard. Alright, cool. So we got around all of those potential hazards, and we have won the game. Unless he has like a Mind Break trap, that would be pretty funny. Actually, it still wouldn't matter. I guess I won't yield until end of turn. We'll just F4 through this. Beautiful. Alright. That seemed unlikely to me. I'm glad it worked out. So now we're going to be on the draw, and it probably is better to just be reactive. The Swan Song Dispel and Negate, I'm sure that's an excellent. You need to have those in. I think I do want the Lightning Bolts, or at least 1 or 2. It gives us some time to do something else. Take out the other Peer Through Depths, and I don't know what else. An Electromancer, maybe. That may not be right. They have so much creature removal that maybe we just need all 8, but we'll roll with this and see what happens. I think the defensive Lightning Bolts are not a bad idea, especially with Pyromancer being around. Have not seen Delver yet, but Lightning Bolt would be an excellent Delver target. This hand is unkeepable because we are on the draw. I mean, we have 2 looks for another land. I mean, we kept 1 landers the other 2 games, but we can't keep this one with just 1 land and no cantrip, so we're gonna mulligan. This one has a cantrip and 2 lands, so I like it. I'm gonna put the grape shot on top actually, because that works wonders against his threats. All 1 toughness creatures for the most part. Relic, yep. Well, I guess we are potentially on the Empty the Warrens plan, which is totally viable right now, because especially seeing the next cards that we're going to draw. In fact, we could potentially, if he taps out, just go ahead and make 8 goblins, which sounds excellent. We're gonna exile this Serum Visions, I'm sure. There we go. So, we top deck the Manamorphose, go fetch for a mountain or whatever you want. We fetch for a Manamorphose, or I'm sorry, we fetch for a mountain, cast Pyretic Ritual, cast Manamorphose, hopefully draw, I don't know, another Ritual or another Manamorphose or something like that. But it looks like at this point, 8 goblins is just fine, especially when they're at 17. If they have a Pyroclasm or something, it's our chances of winning go way down, but that's alright. Now here is a questionable thing. Here we can definitely make the goblins, but we run the risk of Pyromancer running wild, which is just sounds terrible. So we could either just grape shot right now for 1 and then kill this young Pyromancer, or make these 8 goblins. And I think that it's more imperative to make the goblins as soon as possible, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'll go ahead and get a Steam Vent. No, we'll get a mountain. There's no need. Pyretic, Manamorphose, Empty the Warrens. Hopefully we draw 2 more rituals. 2 more Pyretics, and then we can just empty and grape shot. Noxious Revival. That's not bad at all. Noxious is totally... Number 1, it's going to give us 10 goblins instead of 8. We are at a big risk of getting Is It Staticastered, but this Noxious Revival could make it so that we will assuredly at least get 2 damage off the grape shot next turn. I don't mind that right now, and we can get value off of this while the relic is not able to be cracked. I'm totally up for getting this. Well, let's just hope to God they don't have their most likely singleton Is It Staticaster or any board wipe. We're just rolling the dice here to make sure they don't have an answer to this. If they do, our chances of winning go just way, way, way down. Yep, that's fine. So he's going to start blocking. Any spell that he casts is going to make Grape Shot look even better. Okay. see if this goes through. Fair enough. It's gonna make it to where he gets a token and we don't get value off of Grape Shot. It's not a bad play at all. Ancestral Vision, sure. Well, there's a Metamorphose. I'm totally up for casting that right now. Goblin Electromancer. I'm wondering if I should... Okay, so he's gonna make one more token before Pyromancer dies, which is fine. Okay, so that'll allow me to go ahead and snipe the token. So now we got Pyromancer off the field, and we're gonna swing in. He'll take 6 damage, and next turn he's facing down lethal. Man, wouldn't it be terrible if he top decks a land? Is it Staticaster? That would make me a sad human being. Alright, we got it. Cool. Alright, so that was a fun match, actually.